Aloha and namaste. Thanks for tuning in. The mind is a fascinating topic, and the third upaya of the Shiva Sutras is really taking us through the subtle aspects of the anatomy of the mind, how it works. And we're learning here with Shiva Sutra 3.1 that we are constantly undergoing a repetitive and simple process in order to perceive our reality around us. That there are certain sort of landmarks that are occurring in the process of perception, that when we sort of learn more about these steps that are occurring, we'll actually have a better ability to begin to interact with our mind without becoming the mind. So, the example that's given in Intro to Kashmir Shaivism that I'm going to get to here in a moment, that's the basis of the quote that you see before you. Hey Henry, just checking in, do audio and video looking good? So the foundation of this quote rests in the idea of perception. So let's say for example that you are perceiving a cow in front of you, which is the example that Intro to Kashmir Shaivism gives. You would be getting sensory input from the faculty of the mind called the manas. It would be giving you these splotches of color, black and white. Thanks for the thumbs up there. Splotches of color, black and white, and splotches of smell. They didn't mention that, but I know there'd be smell with it, that are coming in as well. And these sensory inputs would start to constitute this perception. But here's the most fascinating part for me so far in this study is that splotch of color and that splotch of smell that's coming in through your senses, through the lower mind, the manas, is not enough to constitute perception. We have to reflect. We have to sort of reflect on previous instances that we've seen these splotches of color and we've smelled these splotches of smell. And in that reflection of this experience, we have to relate to these previous instances, and we start to relate to this image in front of us. To identify this image in front of us, we have to identify with this image in front of us. You see what I'm getting at? So in order for you to perceive something in front of you, you have to relate to it in all your previous instances, all the previous experiences you've had. And you have to identify with it. You have to embody it. And so your perceptions end up becoming your reality. You end up becoming that which you perceive. You're constantly, your awareness is constantly being sucked into all the items of your perception all day long. And as we learn in Shiva Sutra 3.1 that we talked about a little bit previously, was that this results in this experience of a reality of bouncing from object to object, sense to sense, to sense to sense. And it creates an experience of our individuality that is constantly in flux and constantly moving. We're chasing around our senses all day. Is this necessary? Is the question we have to ask ourselves. On one level, yes, as far as anatomically speaking, for the mind to perceive what's in front of you, it will do this process. You will have to relate to these previous experiences. You will have to identify with what you're seeing in order to understand it. But there's a missing link in there, is that we can also relate to the source of that awareness at the same time. You don't have to be sucked into the objects of your awareness entirely. You can perceive the world in front of you and relate to it, but you can also relate to the source of that awareness at the same time. And that is our work in Shambhavananda Yoga, right? The word Shambhavananda means to have your senses open, but your awareness inside. And so when we meditate, that's exactly what we're doing. We're pulling our awareness within, even though the mind is active or even though the senses are open, and we're starting to get a feeling for this possibility of what would appear to be in two places at once, but as we've talked about previously. It's not two places at once. It's actually just inside and you letting the outside come to you. So let's put this into practice. Let's meditate. So find your comfortable seat. Relax your shoulders, lengthen your spine. Float the crown up. First finger and thumb together. Let yourself move a little bit. Allow the spine to float. You can slow the breath down. You're welcome to have the eyes closed or to have them softly gazing ahead at your altar. Swallow and allow that to release any tension in the throat, and try to get the breath to reach down past the throat and to begin to reach a little deeper into the heart, slowing down your exhale. As always, it can be nice to try on a slight smile, and it's never for anyone else, it's always just for you. And the really unique thing about the slight smile is almost like knowing something that's really important and just knowing it. Almost like an inside joke, a place that you have inside of you that you just can really feel. That slight smile draws you in. And in a way, that's what we're going for with our practice today. Is maintaining this inner connection while we interact with the world around us. And so as you maintain that slight smile just for you, you're always welcome to relax it if you don't want to do it. But as you maintain it, just make the breath a little bit slower than normal. And feel in this very moment how you are smoothing out your breath. You are interacting with the body, with the world, and still feeling that inner heart connection through the slight smile. Two things at once. The mind might stir. You might feel like, well, what else are we supposed to do right now? Just try to maintain that slight smile. Feel it in the heart. And keep the breath moving smoothly and deeply to the heart, without any strain, without too much effort. And we'll begin to repeat the mantra silently. Hum as we inhale. Sa as we exhale. Hum Sa. I am that. And as you continue to work with this slight smile, you can feel that connection. I am that. It's the source, it's the heart that we are. We don't have to push the senses away or push the thoughts away. They come to you. The mind will do its processing. But you can hold your focus in the heart. With the breath and the mantra. Again, try to feel this little spark of light in the heart that you can turn on with that slight smile, ever so slight. And that source can be the home, the seat of your awareness. Allowing everything else to come to you. without moving a muscle. Re-spark the heart with that slight smile. Focus your gaze inward on this spark in the heart. This bright ember. Allow the breath and the mantra hum as you inhale, sa as you exhale, to help this ember grow brighter. Allow the muscles of the face to completely relax, but feel the openness in the heart. That same openness as if you were smiling. continue to sink towards this space of the heart. Feel the space there. As if you were smiling. Feel that same amount of joy, that same amount of openness, but just in your breath and in your mantra. Hum, sa. I am that. Keep relating to this space over and over again. Sometimes it can be helpful to breathe a little deeper, to re-spark the heart with an actual slight smile. And as you do those things, pull your attention to the heart. Feel the effect they have on it. And try and really feel the space you're making in your heart. Hum as you inhale, sa as you exhale. And for the last minute of your practice, you can bring the most minimal, slight smile possible to the face. And just remember this inner connection you've developed this morning or this afternoon. And as you let the eyes open a little bit, soften your gaze and feel that space of the heart and that slight smile. And you can try this today or tomorrow. Just bring that slight smile to any moment of your day. And trying to feel the source of your awareness while continuing to interact with your world. Thanks for your attention. Namaste.